Hello, everyone. Author D.L. Tiller here, the Mistress of Horror, and I'm back for more writing sprints. So I made it for this Sunday and going forward because the moving crisis is on hold until spring. So, anyway, here I am to do more of the 90K writing challenge. I believe we only have 3 weeks left, I believe. So, I believe I should say weeks. That might be right. 17, 18 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks left because we're in third week. So here we go. I'm going to be working on my newsletter tonight to make sure that everything's right with for tomorrow's newsletter to come out, and then I'll probably be pulling Caliostro book 2 back out to write that for the second sprint. If you join this on replay, then leave me a comment on what you worked on. If you are joining live, then in the chat, let me know what you're working on tonight. I'm going to jump right into the sprints, of course. Let's see here. The sprint screen up here. Up. Move that, add that. All right. So, yeah, it's been a really crazy September for me, but I won't be moving until the spring now. Thank goodness for that. A lot of headaches with that. I talked about it the last time. Anyway, if you want to catch my newsletter that comes out tomorrow, which is the fourth Monday of the month, and then be sure to click to download either Winter Wolf or Ladrega in my description box below to subscribe to my newsletter and get the free story. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into the sprints. I will see you in 45 minutes. Happy writing. My bad. That got away from me a little bit. And it's time. Let's see here. Boop. All right. Little break. Little break. Hi, Jocelyn. Thanks for popping in tonight. I hope you get done with work you're trying to get done. Yeah, I talked about that on, was that Tuesday? Yeah, so I end up being postponed to move until the spring. A lot of racism issues here. It's everywhere. This is America. Um, which I knew was going to be the problem because I live in a predominantly white area, and it happened 8 years ago as well. Except for, of course, as we are our current administration, um, everyone's felt emboldened to be even worse with it. So I actually had a place that you have to pay so much too for application fees. Um, that the first time I paid 140 because it's 4 adults in my house, and then they knew that they was giving it to somebody else that same day, but still has applied for no reason. But that is what it is on that front. But this second time I filled out was definitely had my real estate agent check with them to make sure that all the stipulations were met before we put the application in. And they said more than likely we'd be able to get it. No one else was interested in the house. And we applied, and then they came back and said that myself and my older brother's social security numbers were that of deceased people. So yeah. uh and a bunch of so I'm like, if that was, they try to say it was a discrepancy, but then they told the owner that, and he said, "Oh, I'm freaked out, and I don't want anything to do with that." Right? I mean, I don't know if they think we're stupid or think we've been living this in this country for like forever, that we're used to the bull and the lies that they like to make up. So yeah, I'm just a little done with all the racism issues in this country. So, I plan to try to buy a house in 3 years. Less problem with the racism being a factor, but there still could be some issues on that. So yeah, I know. They think we're stupid, like we don't know that they make stuff up. Right, exactly. And then the woman, when I called to ask what is going on, the realtor, she says, "Oh," and tries to read off to me the two dead men that me and my brother are supposed to be, two white dead men, I should say. And I'm like, I don't need to know that. I know I'm alive, and I have my social security number, and this is what it is. She said, "Oh, well, that doesn't match it. Only half of it." So if there's a discrepancy, why would you, the realtor, tell the owner before you clear up and get the social security numbers corrected on form? Because that's not what happened. That's why. Because if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. And she, of course, made the point to say, "Well, the owner hasn't seen any of the paperwork." Not that I asked her that, because she knew where I was going with it, because it was obviously bogus. But whatever. Quite used to the bull at this point. I am 40, so anyway. So I just got the owners here through the rental company that works between us, that they will let us rent until for 6 more months until spring. So, and I'm going to just stick with trying to rent through the rental company that is between us and the current owners, since they have lots of different locations that they serve. And they aren't racist, this company in particular, because that's how we were able to rent 8 years ago, because they were the only place in the entire area that would rent to us. So, that being said, yeah, so we'll probably be able to find something in the spring, because we're going to stick with UTS property management with their rentals, because they don't let you meet the owners. They just, if you can afford the place, you have a good record, which we do, then they rent to you. Simple. So it's a bit ridiculous. So that's what I had to deal with. That was fun. Anyway, so actually I can get back into my writing, because I don't have the move to worry about, but everything's packed up now, so I still have to try to reset up a spot in my office that I could do videos with me on camera. And so that's going to take a little bit to do. I'm not unpacking really anything, but it's just a bit of a headache because of the back and forth of that. Anyway, the things we must deal with in the real world. Anyway, how's your night? I think you said you're trying to get some words in. I was working on my newsletter, and the people who disrespect writers to the third degree is so goofy to me, because I get in author swaps regularly now through Book Funnel, and I have newsletter magnets. So I have my novella to my main 3-part book series that I give away as a news magnet. And I have La Draga, which is one of my short horror tales as well. They are only published in the paperback, hardback version of Caliostro. It's the only way you can read them, or by joining my newsletter for these short tales. And the people, there's always people doing something wrong, abusing a system, humans. And so I'm noticing a pattern here. Now that I've been doing the newsletter swaps for probably I guess probably like 3 months now, maybe 2 months possibly now. And it grew my newsletter a good amount because I'm very specifically building based to my brand currently. And some of these people are doing some dirtiness. And because I noticed their emails keep coming up, because when you have MailChimp, it alerts you when emails come in there are the same that you already have in your mailing list. And only way for you to be added to my newsletter, for me to get your email, is for you to download either Winterwolf or Ladrega and then accept to join the newsletter, which that's the only way. So you have to download it. So are you coming to download the books multiple times? I don't know what people are doing, because there'll be no need to download it multiple times, because you have it once you have the ebook, EPUB version, or the PDF version of it, or whatever, through BookFunnel or directly on your BookFunnel. You have it. There's no reason to re-download it a second, third, fourth time, or whatever the case may be. And then, of course, you have the people that will get your book, and then even though they subscribe, they will go in. Either one person today downloaded my book and then unsubscribed before they even got my newsletter, which I find hilarious. They're very diligent, because they would have probably had to they have to unsubscribe, go back to the link and unsubscribe after they subscribed, where it's usually at the bottom of that. And to take the effort to do that, but you wanted to more or less not agree to the agreement that you're marking by downloading my novella or my short story. You didn't even stick to the agreement for 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, people are dirty, and they think that that's not dirty, underhanded activity. It is, just to be clear. But besides that, the other people that are down, like, doing it more than once, because I've gotten that probably. It's happened almost each time that I've had, like, let's say 12 people come in. At least 2 or 3 of them have already been in my email list. And I'm going to I'm looking into book, I don't know. Now I'm looking into BookFunnels blocking. So I'm going to go and block the people who unsubscribed from my newsletter after they just got the book. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to be dirty and underhanded, and BookFunnel gives us the option to do this, then I'm going to do it. So you can't come back and then download whatever my newest newsletter magnet may change to, or the secondary option, and just to be a dirty, like, stealing little bit, because you're not holding to the agreement of subscribing to the newsletter, really, just because you want to get free stuff from writers without supporting them, even to get their newsletter once a month. Like, it's free, and you already got something free, and now you're going to be dirty and underhanded for the newsletter. Like, oh, newsletters are annoying to me, but you want my book for free. Make it make sense. You know what I mean? Anyway, because I'm going to be changing newsletter magnets soon, probably over the next 3 months. I'm going to be writing a different short story as a newsletter magnet and pull Winterwolf. So anyone who wants Winterwolf for free should join my newsletter, because it's not going to be on newsletter magnets soon, because I'm going to release it solo. So if people who just want to purchase Winterwolf, because the only way to get Winterwolf currently to read the novella is to purchase the paperback and hardback of Caliostro, because the ebook version only comes with Ladrega. Yeah, I'm going to take a new approach. Yeah, I'm going to BookFunnel, and they let you block emails of people who unsubscribe. So they won't be coming back. Because if you unsubscribe and try to be dirty about it, sneaky, I don't need you. That's how I feel about that. So that's what I'll be doing on the second break, cleaning my BookFunnels, so those very specific ones that I have record of, because I archived them, because they unsubscribe. You can't add them back. You have to make sure you archive them so they won't be there. So I'm going to do that. And then, like I said, the newsletter magnet will be changing. So if they feel inclined to, if they see my newsletter magnet in one of the swaps, and when they go to try to subscribe, they won't be able to even download, because it's going to automatically block them. So yeah, it's people are just so dirty out here. I have nothing to say. I've never once downloaded a free book and then unsubscribed from the person's newsletter. Like what for? You know what I mean? Anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and get to work. Your night. So far, so good. Good, good, good. All right, so let's get some more words in. I'm going to do another 45-minute sprint. Let me remove this and add this back, and then I'm going to switch to a different player. Let's see which one. That one, and then we have this one. So let's go with this one. I'll see you all in 45 minutes. Happy writing. And that's time, everyone. How did you do if you were writing tonight? Da, da, da. I finished messing with my newsletter and book funnel. Aphrodite, you weren't here earlier when I was talking about the craziness that is newsletters and the underhandedness of people. You know what I mean? Like people always like doing up to no good stuff. Like, you know what I mean? And it's so much disrespect for writers. It's beyond belief. First, of course, everyone expects us to sell our books for nearly free or nothing at all, even after it takes all it takes to actually produce a book. And then on top of that, when we're doing newsletters and newsletter magnets, that people still want to just get out there for free, that we all offering for free, and not actually follow through the agreement of being subscribed to our newsletter. And I'm finding something sneaky going on because I have used BookFunnel for the landing pages for my newsletter magnets, and I do newsletter swaps with authors there. But of course, that means so you're going to come back around through to some people who are in those other, subscribe to those other newsletters, blah, blah, blah. But the thing about it is, I think some people are doing it on purpose. You know what I mean? Because I have my newsletter coming through MailChimp. So it flags you when a repeat email is put in for your newsletter. When you put the CVS document through to bulk download the people that recently subscribed. And they get the book each time because on BookFunnel you can decide to doing it on purpose. I'm saying they are downloading your book again on purpose. Because on BookFunnel, you could choose to lock your book to BookFunnel's app, meaning if people download your book, they have to go to their BookFunnel app. Or, which a lot of people prefer, is to allow EPUB or PDF and or PDF option download your book, or whatever book you're giving, a novella or a short story, whatever the case is, book nonetheless. And you can have that option because people like to send it to their Kindle or they like to send it to their desktop to read it there or whatever in the web browser. But if what's going on, what I think possibly is going on, people just sort of get multiple copies of the book and send it to friends for free. Because if you get an EPUB or you get a PDF, you can send it wherever. Right. Now you can turn that off. But some people don't have BookFunnel app, though it's free. It's a free downloadable app. So acting like that's a problem is a little sus, you know what I mean, for people. So I decided, when I first started out, I was like, nah, I don't really care for that, you know what I'm saying? But BookFunnel does put a bookmark, a watermark on your EPUBs and on your PDFs for you, so that stealing, you know. But that's why they do the watermark. They can't see the watermark, but the watermark is there for you, so that way in case somebody tries to steal it. But I'm not really worried about somebody stealing my book because I already have it published. It's just published in Caliostro's book, and Rodriguez published on Caliostro's ebook. So they can try to steal it. If I ever see it, then they're in trouble. You know what I mean? But if they're going to steal your book, they have the intention to steal your book. I'm not sure if it's that far, but even if it was, whatever. You know what I mean? So, but I don't really want people being sneaky if they're not going to subscribe to the newsletter. Also, you don't need to download the book more than once. Okay. So I decided to switch it. Now that I have a decent amount of subscribers, I've switched it back to BookFunnel only. You know, I know it was. I know Shattered was stolen. But people can steal it. They can scan your book into the thing if they did physical. They can get their hands on the ebook somehow because thieves will thieve. You know what I mean? So that's unfortunately happens to a lot of writers, rather traditional or indie. But yeah, I just think people are just dirty and treat writers like crap. They really do. No respect whatsoever for the written word. Because if you make an agreement, like I've never downloaded somebody's stuff that were newsletter mags for free and then unsubscribe from their newsletter. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not cool. You know, you check your moral compass a little bit. But it is what it is. You expect some people to do what they're going to do. Now, like I had one person subscribe today, download Winter Wolf, and then unsubscribe before I ever even send them a newsletter. You know what I'm saying? Like right after, because it shows me. Because when they unsubscribe, you can't add their their email to your new mailing list. So it kind of did an error because they did that. So yeah, people are doing dirty things. So I switched back to just doing book funnel. So if you don't have a book funnel app, you can't read the newsletter magnets. So anyway, there's that. But people are just, I wish people would just be better. But they just can't help themselves. Human nature, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I did tonight. I just worked on my newsletter because it has to go out tomorrow. I had finished it up, but I had to double check, like send myself test runs to make sure that the links and stuff were all good to go and all that. Plus, I put Caliostro. I did a price drop. It's down $2.99. The reason why I didn't drop it below, and I was going to put it on $1.99, is because of Amazon's new royalty rate for the books. Because it's something about, I think it gave me a warning when I was going to drop it to $1.99, at least for Amazon anyway, and that's where a lot of my sales will come from. I haven't really got sales on the others, even though I'm water distribution through Draft to Digital. So I dropped it to $2.99. It was $3.99. So we'll see if that helps the sales any at all. But I did announce that. I did put the price change in my newsletter that comes out tomorrow. There's that. People are funny. Every day I have, but that's because the newsletter I sub to keep spamming me every damn day. So I was out. That's different. Mine is once a month. Like, mine is once a month. I really don't care for like the crazy ones that come out every day. That's a bit too much for like fiction. You know what I mean? So I don't know why anybody would even have one that does that. And I got tired of the ones that I was subscribed to. Not unsubscribed from newsletters that I subscribed to, not just because I didn't even get anything. They didn't have a magnet when I subscribed. So I unsubscribed when it was like way too many emails coming in, like spamming me more or less. So I don't really care for that. I like once a month newsletters, to be honest. Like Substack is a little bit too much if you ask me. Like a lot of people who have Substacks and you subscribe, it's constant, but I suppose it's supposed to be like I don't know, like a written YouTube almost. This is too much. I'm getting dinged constantly. I'm like, I still try to stay subscribed to the people to support, but like it's a lot of dinging, but whatever. Anyway, guys, that's it for tonight. We got 2 sprints in. I will be here again on Tuesday for sprints at my usual time. I believe the 90K writing challenge still has 2 weeks. We're about to enter the last 2 weeks of the challenge, and then my screening and stuff will go back to my usually Mistress of Horror layout. But yeah, and I get back to writing now that my move is postponed until the spring. So there's that. Got a little cleanup to do since I'm staying here. I'm not unpacking anything, but I do need to make a wall for my backdrop for doing interviews or anything else I have to do. So, but since I'm also not moving at the moment, I'm going to see if I can get Trapped Within out for Halloween. So I need to contact my editor to see if you have any openings for a short story. It's not going to be too much work for him. It's not a very long short story. Second part to Room Within. But I need to work on that this week and see if I can get the ending cleaned up and then get it self-edited again and then send it over to him. I got contact and see if he have any openings coming up. So I can get it done. I've been made the cover for it a couple years ago, so that's all ready. I'll have to get with Aphrodite, see if she have space. Do you have Aphrodite have space for me to format it? I'll probably need formatting. I wouldn't be releasing it until like Halloween. So I still got like a month before. But you let me know what you have available for formatting. So anyway, after I said, honestly, if it was all about their world of writing, I would have kept it. But this was a bunch of buy this and buy that madness. It was worse. I know, they do that. I only try to, I have 2 authors or 3 authors at the most in my newsletter at the bottom. But my newsletter always has, I talk about what I'm doing, what's going on, if I have anything coming up on YouTube. And then I always have, a horror section where it's, something about the type of different horror genres or different creatures as in a horror world or something dark fantasy based. And then anything I have going on. And then I have, 2 books, or 3 of different authors that you could download their free books or something like that. And the only thing to buy in mine is like all Caliostro. My other books, this links are very non-intrusive at the bottom. But I don't like all that bye, 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 and I have nothing to say. It's so weird to me. But hey, do what you need to do, I guess. Oh, yeah, sure. Thanks for being here, Jocelyn. I appreciate it. I may need your help with the anthology. I will hit you up later this week about it. Okay, cool. Let me know. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I like Adrian's. His is good too. All right, y'all. I will see you on Tuesday. Have a good night and happy writing. Any writing you do when I don't know you're writing, I wish you the best of luck with it. See you Tuesday. Stay scared.